That means he constricts his food or his what he want to collect or eating then. So he attacked not by poison, but by his own strength. And so I find it very interesting for do deep meditation about these qualities of Python, because Srimad Bhagavatam, it gives our very nice and very deep analogies. And Srila Prabhupada used to say that analogies helps us in very simple way to understand the philosophical points. And then in Bhagavad Gita also mentions a number of the verses that describe qualities. Actually, there are many verses in Bhagavad Gita about qualities of a devotee or a liberated person. And in 12th canto, text number 18-19, some connected ideas are also described. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold. That is actual for for us, especially for Russian devotees, because for us this much of heat is not familiar. So we a little bit suffer. But Krishna says that he is not mentioned, heat and cold. Happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. These verses from 13 to 20 of 12th canto, of 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says who is dear to him. Because our aim is not to become like a python or become developing good qualities, became a perfect transcendentalist or perfect Vaishnava. Our aim is to become dear to Krishna. And because Srila Prabhupada says, Atakshi Krishna namadina bhavet grahyam indriyah, it's not possible to see or to feel Krishna through our gross senses. Sevan mukhe hijik vadau svayama vaspurat yadach. So only through purification, svayama vaspurat yadach, he himself may or may not reveal to us. So, and Srila Prabhupada in one of the lecture he explains, then what should be happen that Krishna will reveal us? Because finally this is his free will to reveal or not reveal. Even we can be perfect in all the senses, Krishna may not reveal. So the only reason for Krishna to revealing himself to a Vaishnava, to devotee, to us, is his own desire. And Srila Prabhupada said, then how can we make this desire or increase this desire in Krishna? Srila Prabhupada says, we should please him. So when Krishna is pleased, naturally he may become desiring to reveal himself to us, to increase his satisfaction or pleasure, or to increase inspiration of devotee for service. So then how can we please Krishna? And Krishna says in this number of verses, 8 verses, he describes how, what can we do to be dear to the Lord. And I just want to little bit to mention that. One who is not envious about as kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself as a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So chances are increased if we have kind of these qualities or meditations. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipped in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. Text 16. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Not striving for some result, like that Avaduta Sannyasi, is very dear to me. And text 17, last. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. So, then how these things may manifest in us? As I mentioned, and as in Srimad Bhagavatam mentions, that when devotee became Krishna Eka Sharanam, increased these qualities, then naturally all these things are manifested. But for this, that what can help us to increase this mood of surrender to Krishna, we should understand our position in material world and how we were, what is actually here, how everything here happens, moving, and how can we liberate from this material world. And third part of Bhagavad Gita, from 13th to 17th chapter, it describes how the position of soul in material world and of the gunas, how is world manifesting, and what is the way for liberation. That's why in the 40th chapter, the three moods of material nature, Krishna starts as follows. Again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. So, Krishna says that the supreme wisdom about the gunas. So this simple knowledge about gunas may give us supreme perfection, as Lord says. And also one verse of Bhagavad Gita I found very connected to this topic. It is in 4th chapter. It's called Transcendental Knowledge. Text number 18 to 22, but especially text number 22. He who is satisfied with gain, which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions. These verses are described about actions and inaction. So Krishna says that it's very important to understand what is real action and what is inaction. Because when we read this story, we may think this Avaduta, he is out of any action. So he is like a lazy person, and why should we follow his example? Otherwise, why Narada Muni mentioned this story? He wants to teach us, he wants us to consider this example and take it in consideration and actually to apply it in our life also. So, but we may think this is just a lazy Avaduta, he do nothing, he just sit under one tree and just accept whatever comes, and actually he was not slim, He was quite, his body was like a python also, python. He was quite enough of the food, he was not suffering. And, but the real action is not as mundane understanding. And the Shastra Chakshu gives us some other understanding of the mundane, out of the mundane point of views. And also there is a very nice verse in Bhagavad Gita that describes that for sane person, what is the day for the normal people is a night for sane person, and what is night for the average people is a time of awakening for the sane person. So that means activity doesn't mean just simple rajas or some action. Real activity means meditation for the Lord and self-realization. Then the rest of the things they may not have a real result. It's just other things. If it's not related to Lord, if it is not devotional service, then it's just our bondage of material existence became even more complicated. Then it makes more problems. So the real activity is to cut this knot of material existence. So this is some quotes from Bhagavad Gita, and last day I also talked with one of friend. He is devotee, and he is locked down in Thailand nowadays, actually without associations, but we have nice relations, and he tried to manage his life in different ways, and no, it's his position not nice as ours here in the temple, but who knows, Krishna is Mama Vartmanu Vartmante Manushya Sarva. So Krishna guide everyone in the best way. But what he says was very interesting and significant for me. He said, actually, I'm thinking what to do in this life, to go here or there, or to how to manage this my nature with devotional service. And he has many doubts, and picture is not clear. But then finally, through these talks, what he said, then he thought, he was silent for some few moments, then he thought, you know what, now I'm thinking, if I do some deal in this material life, actually what the deal means I should give my time, my energy, my life, and get something back. So I should, if I do some investment or some activity, then what for will I exchange all my life? Then he said, no, I don't want any small things. I want the greatest thing. The most valuable thing I want back out of my life, out of my time. Then he thought, so what is the most valuable thing? Actually, this is Harinam Sankirtana Yagi and Krishna consciousness. So naturally, through this discussion, he came to the point. So if I will waste my life for something, or if I will invest my life, my time, my energy, my best age of my life, and everything, then back I want the most valuable thing. He said, I don't want this, what you call Shramayava Hikevalam, some insignificant things. He said, I don't want. So he said, yes, I want the most, the best result, what is possible in this human form of life. So naturally, through this discussion himself, he come to the conclusion that he want to do some activities in Krishna consciousness. But the problem is these gunas of material nature, it is not so simple thing. And last idea I will share with you. So along with that, I meditated on myself. In which gunas am I? And found that most of the time I'm either in Rajaguna or in Tamaguna. And that means it's not just a simple statement. What I realized is that this Rajaguna, it's catching you very unknowingly and very silently and very accurately. Then when you became in Rajas, then naturally Tamaguna comes. So some mistakes, some destroys, some illness, some sleepiness, those things are coming. So it's very important for still we are not in a liberated person, means at least Nishtha, that Brahmabhuta stage. We should not totally be conscious on that, but for myself I found that at least I should pay some attention what is happening, which guna I am now, and if I daily spend maybe just 5 or 10 minutes to sit calmly and meditate what's happening, where I am, what I am doing, and why I am so in a Rajas mood, and then after Rajas mood why became this tamas, then for me it helps. So, and in this 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives many signs of detection which guna we are. 14th, 17th and 18th chapter gives many signs. Food, activity, tapasya, donation, and in Srimad Bhagavatam also in 11th canto we can find this description of the gunas also, even more. So our aim is not to become in sattva or even liberation is not our goal. Our goal is to please Krishna and become dear to Krishna and actually to develop this love to Him. So what helps? Krishna gives us in Bhagavad Gita also many hints or direct instructions, and in the end of this very wonderful song of the Lord, Krishna says, yes, text number 68, 18th chapter. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships the conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So Krishna says that will come back to me and he will be very, very dear to me. So that means the mood of our movement, it comes from Krishna himself. This is the preaching mood. And Srila Prabhupada, sometimes Srila Prabhupada answered for one question, devotees may inquire. So Krishna says that we should share this knowledge, discuss with knowledge to devotees. But Srila Prabhupada says, okay, you distribute books, make devotees and discuss with them. So no other way except Shri Harinama Sankirtana Yagya means we preach, we chant holy names, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and through this we please the Lord. And who knows, one day Krishna may reveal himself to us. And actually there is no other way except by the mercy of Guru. That's why Krishna also mentioned that Tadvidhi pranipatina pariprashnena sevaya upadakshyanti te gyanam gyanina statvadarshanaha. Because we cannot please Krishna through our own efforts. Actually we should, because we have now this qualification, it's very easy to please Krishna when we help someone who has already fixed in some service to Lord and whose service Krishna already accepts. So if we simply help those persons like our spiritual masters or authorized bona fide authorities in a local place, then naturally our service will be accepted to the Lord. Otherwise, if we speculate any self service to Lord, then Krishna may not appreciate that. So the only way is service to the lotus feet of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Vande Guru Shri Charana Ravinda, and then our life will be sublime. Hare Krishna. Any corrections, questions, ideas, commentaries? What are formal symptoms of a saint person? Should we recognize him by his behavior or by his speech, talks? What are the formal symptoms of a saint person? Should we recognize him by his behavior or by his speech? Symptoms of a saint person, that different things may be considered. That means devotee or transcendentalist, or what does mean saint person? Okay, generally saint person. Okay, because it different between normal transcendentalist or normal saint person is in mundane understanding and devotee. It says. Okay, 9 Canto 9:30, 31. Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. So Krishna says, even if he commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Guru Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, and he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. So Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra, we cannot judge devotees by the surface things, by the external things, and should we recognize him by his behavior or by his speech, talks? Actually, this recognize, we in Bhakti Shastri, we discussed this topic. How can we recognize a guru, or how can we recognize Uttamadhikari? We cannot recognize. Up to the stage we became. So actually, whom we can recognize, who is okay. If we achieve particular stage of devotional service, we can recognize all the devotees from the beginning to our stage. More exalted devotees we cannot recognize. And when we are Kanishka Adhikari, we cannot recognize it at all anyone. In Madhyama Adhikari, he can recognize Kanishka Adhikari, Madhyama and Uttama. And he can also recognize innocent, Lord himself, innocent, envious, and devotees. He can recognize. So for recognition, we can recognize only through attain the stage of Madhyama Adhikari. Before that, there is no chance. We will apply Shastra according to ourselves. But at the same time, Srila Prabhupada, in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that actually we should be ladies and gentlemen. This is significant things for us as a devotees. At least we should be in this stage. And he said when a person became Uttama Adhikari or Raganuga Bhakta, he will follow sadhana even more strictly, that he describes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So actually Vaishnava should be perfect anyway. But this is not for others, this is for myself. And other thing is, Srila Prabhupada says that by his speech, talks, yes, Srila Prabhupada says, whatever person has in the heart, as Jesus Christ says, from the full of hearts, the mouth is speaking. So Srila Prabhupada also gives this idea in one of the purport that if a person has Krishna consciousness in his heart, naturally he will speak about Krishna only and related to that topics. If he has something other inside, he will speak something other. But this is also not for others. This is for ourselves mostly. Otherwise, if a person more elevated than we are, he may speak in many different things. We have many examples from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Gadadhara Pandit and what is the story? Pundarika Vidyanidhi. They came and they saw, he said, whom you bring me to? Who is that person? But then when they recite Srimad Bhagavatam, just one or two shlokas, then immediately he gave up all these kalyans and this satisfaction. He became as a mad. That means we cannot judge person out of our position. Still, we are not Madhyama Adhikari. Madhyama Adhikari can define. This is the answer, as I understand. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Jagat Guru ki jai, Gaura Premanande.